So, hello again, everyone. I was almost saying good morning, but we don't know where or what part of the world we are located, right? So, good day to everyone, and welcome again to Transform Your Sunday. Four coaches, different minds, different idea, but one single intention to transform our Sunday, your Sunday. So, Maggie, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Maggie Temez. I am a chef and a coach. I help diabetics who are struggling with adapting to healthier eating styles to find more time, more control over their blood sugars and confidence in their meal choices without feeling stuck in a bland or boring diet. And I do all of that in my Running Fox Living Food program. So. Over to Jen.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jen, owner of Oxygen Mind and Body Coaching Company. I've been coaching hundreds of people for over 27 years. And basically, what I do is I help people get physically stronger and mentally stronger to create the life that they not only feel good, but they love to live. And that's what I do in all my programs. Juliet.
Hi everyone, I'm Juliet. I'm an artist and a coach, and I combine both of them to help you with your self-doubt, your confidence, imposter syndrome, anyway, to be happier on a daily basis. I love to use my art for that. People apparently really loved it. So happy to help anyone who needs it. And Iris, your turn.
Thank you so much. And again, my name is J. Santos, and I am the founder of Santos Coaching. And I work with adult women 45 to 55 that are struggling in toxic relationship with themselves or with other to end with the suffering that arises from being stuck in a place that suck your energy and don't help you strive and have the relationship that you deserve, which is to live in peace and in love. And today's topic, today's topic, highest levels of consciousness. What do you guys think about this? Go ahead,
I,
Maggie.
so I love that you are bringing in like the levels of consciousness, and I think a lot of people hear this and they really don't even know what to think about it or what it means. And so when I talk about higher level of consciousness, it really is being more aware of both my surroundings, how how they affect me, but how I affect them. And like there is an energy and connection that goes into it. And there can be so many things in it that I feel like a lot of people can get confused as to what it means, what you're talking about it, and like how that affects them. So I love that we are going to have a chance to go into this topic and really share and be able to clarify what that is. Go ahead, Jen.
As you're talking, I'm thinking, wow, this is such a deep topic. Like we can rabbit hole in so many areas, but what comes to mind is the subconscious mind, the reticular activated system, this idea of the gatekeeper to our brains. And I think for me, that was like such an easy concept to understand when we realize that if you imagine there's like a gatekeeper to your brain and they get to decide, a bouncer gets to decide what comes in and what comes out. I think that has been really helpful for me, like what thoughts that I am going to actually allow to come in and surface. And it's like Maggie said, having that awareness and having that wherewithal of there is this level of consciousness, there's this level of connecting to a energy, a vibration that is beyond us. And I think if we can tap into, I know when we tap into and we create that higher vibrational energy, we are more in tune to the divine, we're more creative, and it's the law of attraction. Then we get everything that we want. So this, I love this. There's so many layers, and I can't wait to hear what everyone has to share about this. Juliet.
Yeah, thank you, Aries, for this. I think I really like this idea because I've learned it through my journey. And it's really like the unconscious first also what because it kind of really drive your behavior, your fears, and being aware that all of your unconscious fears and action and behavior is so important on your daily life. And I know that your leaderboard, for example, is definitely like your self-doubt and everything is your unconscious because you are used to it. You have been doing that for me it was 35 years. So it's been a while. Um for a while. And so it's just become really unconscious and you just feel like, oh, there's nothing I can do about that. But just so you know, you can do something about it. Whatever the level of consciousness is it or unconsciousness, you can definitely change whatever your brain is doing and whatever your body is reacting. So yeah, I think it's a really nice topic. We, as Jennifer said, we can talk about it for hours, and I'm gonna let Maggie go.
Well, I'm going to let Iris go first because
No,
she hasn't spoken
Iris.
yet.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, I I loved what everybody was sharing and like how we do have the ability to decide what it is. Um, but before I get to that, like it it can look different for so many people. It may, depending on what spirituality you follow, it can feel like a calling. It can feel like a higher power. It can feel like a gut instinct. Um, and recognizing that I call it a calling, so I'm going to call it a calling. Recognizing that calling and then being able to like acknowledge it and process it and make a conscious decision on it, I think is a really powerful way for us to be able to move forward and bring all of the good things into our lives that are out there. And I do believe that everyone has an abundance, a bounty that is there for them if they are open to it, if they are willing to follow their calling, which sometimes goes to uncomfortable places. And you have to be willing to go through that in order to receive. So go ahead, Iris.
That is beautiful. I am so glad that we chose this topic, and I'm so glad that that what you share right now about a higher consciousness, a higher part of self, and that led me to because to define a higher consciousness, we also have to define individual consciousness. Is the parts of us, like Jennifer said, the parts of us that attach, that connect us with a higher being, or what Julia said. But I'm more in, once you get to this level of consciousness within yourself, then that higher consciousness, which is what you're referring to, Maggie, at least how I see it, and it's true, everyone has a different points of view how to see it. It's the one that connects us all as humanity, as a whole collective system. It's that part of us that says what you do to others, you do to yourself. It is impossible to make decisions that at an individual consciousness, when you are at that part, that won't affect the whole, won't affect the entire ecosystem of the whole universe. So this is, you know how I, when I go, that my words are kind of like struggling with it, because this is so big, like this is so important topic, and like you said, it has so many layers and so many ways of looking at it that it's almost impossible to cover the whole system in one single little 20 minutes of time, right? But what happens when you are in connection with that higher power of you individually, but collectively, your choices don't align with the individual? Like, go ahead, Jennifer.
I like that. I like what you said about we know when our choices don't align, right? You get that gut feeling or that pain. So using our own subconscious as our guiding system to keep us connected, to keep us energetically where we want to be, putting out into the world what we want to see and receive. And it's this layer of learning ourselves, right? Loving ourselves. Because if we're not loving ourselves first, we're telling everybody else that this is okay. How I treat myself in this unloving manner is, I'm telling you it's okay to treat me that way. So I think too, and you, Iris, you speak to this all the time, this self-love, identifying and loving yourself every day, and then doing the actions that align with that love. You're putting the love out there, and that is what you're going to receive. And that is the message that we're giving to the world. This is how I want to show up for you. This is how I expect you to show up for you. And you can't have that without awareness.
I
Yes,
love
Maggie.
that. And if I could tag on right here, because as you're talking, and I was thinking back to what Iris was saying, like how someone else can affect that, how we allow someone else to affect us has a lot of impact because we are all connected. Whether we are open to it or not, that connection is still there. And allowing ourselves to be open to it, I think can be hard for a lot of people because, like, especially if you are very sensitive to other people's feelings and how that affects you, like being able to hold to yourself and keep yourself in that state of grace, in that state of beauty to show up the way that you want to show up can be a struggle, but really being aware of that connection and that it is not necessarily you, but it may be another's influence has a powerful way to help you to be within yourself and like go through that. Um, one quick thing, and so like you can stay in your positivity and still be respectful of other people's feelings without being a victim to their feelings. And I'm going to pass it down to Iris because I saw her first.
Thank you. Thank you. You just reminded me of our last topic, last week topic, the example of the soda. When you are in a higher consciousness, it doesn't mean that your decisions, that you're going to like your decision. But if you are following love, if you're following unity, if you're following your values, and we all want to feel loved, we all want to feel peace, we all want to be accepted in the world. And you know that what you do to others, you are actually doing it to yourself, collectively speaking. It goes back to that, some like sort of that example. Just because it doesn't feel good, it doesn't mean that it's not the right thing to do when we're making choices. And this is how we show ourselves that we are in tune with our values, with how we are, who we are, and how we come together as a society. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Who was first, Jennifer or Julia? I don't know.
Julia can go, and then I just want to share.
Yeah. It just when Maggie you were talking, it just reminded me of something that struck me during this journey. Is really being conscious of my fears and some of my negative thoughts that came were not mine. Like some of your emotions are not yours because some of them were from my parents.
Yeah.
And being conscious of it really opened my mind of so many things of their fears. They just give you their fear and you live with that and you make it your own, but at the end of the day they are not. And this, when you have this consciousness, sorry, it really changed everything. So suddenly you are like, oh no, my gosh, this is not mine and this is not me. And you can be, it just really allowed me to be closer to the person I want to be. As you said, Jennifer, last week, is it's always you keep changing and transforming.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of the things that kind of really struck me during my journey, is really be conscious that everything you are feeling and the way all your fears and your emotion are not always yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer.
As you and Maggie were speaking of that, it brought up memories too of on my own journey, the stories that I kept. What I wanted to share is over the last few weeks, I've been teaching from the book, The Four Agreements. If anybody has read that, it's an amazing book. And the second agreement is the one that I wanted to share with everybody, which is don't take anything personally, right? If we can actually embrace that, these stories are not our stories anymore. They're not, we don't have to take them personally. If we can actually embrace that concept of, it is when somebody is speaking, like Juliet was saying, she took on her parents' fears, it is the other person's fears, frustrations coming out. And it's going back to the mind, right? That guard at the mind that says, I don't have, these are not mine. I'm not taking these personally. And I think having that interrupt and having that conversation with ourselves, it breaks the cycle, it breaks the pattern of thinking and feeling. And so it's not taking things personally as we transform. Juliet.
Yeah, it's gonna be short, Maggie. After I'm gonna just when Jennifer shared, I needed to share. I got the same issue. It's not taking things personally, and I know with my relationship, like my intimate relationship, is something that changed my life too. So every time the person is pointed me out and say, "Oh, why you did this and why you did that," on whatever is said or whatever, like it doesn't like, or if it's a girl or like she doesn't like, I used to take everything really personally and it really hurt me and my confidence was just kind of every time just going lower. And today when someone said do the same thing, I'm just like, this is your fear, this is your issues, not mine. And it really changed like on daily basis, like all this stress I used to take on and this bad emotion, I'm like, okay, this is not mine. This is your, just give it back. Take it
Just
back.
give it back.
Maggie.
I love that because that was really close to what I wanted to share. Just that, like, every moment when we are aware and conscious of what's happening, we have the ability to decide, is this in alignment? Is this where I want to be? And then make a conscious choice for where we're going to go from there, whether we're going to let it affect us or choose something different. And I love that. And I'm so glad Iris brought this conversation up today.
Thank you. So I could stay here and talk about this stuff. I mean, we could stay here and talk about this topic the whole entire day, but I think we're going to take it home right now. So we can give you the opportunity to sit down and make an assessment, an assessment of your life, an assessment of your choices, and see if they are in alignment with who you are or who you are becoming. If they are not, then the choices, they're not good or bad. They're just showing you clarity so you can make a determination from there and become the powerful being that you are, the higher conscience that you are, and break out of the old habits. So let us know what you think about this topic. Let us know if there's anything else you like us to talk about. Let us know what comes up for you. And we'll see you next Sunday in Transform Your Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.